Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Nordic Championship. We're here for our fourth and final game of week one. It's going to be Team Singularity versus Nordavind. But first, let's have a little talk about Dusty. Why are you laughing at me?
Nordavind.
Nordavind. Sorry, guys. I'm missing the N.
Yeah, you're missing a lot of letters. Anyway, moving on. Dusty, really strong performance. Orlando tried to bring some spice out with the Nami mid, didn't work. Dusty crushed them. Really strong performance again. Well, across the board, particularly Legions, really intelligent laning and applied the pressure outwards. So great to see them bounce back from their very close defeat against Nordavind. And we're going to see Nordavind up against Team Singularity. This is a matchup I've been hyped for, in not just in these 2 days, but over the whole split. Coming into the Nordic Championship, a lot of people have these two pegged as some of the top contenders. I think that is going to be a pretty strong matchup between them. They're both 1-0. Could be the big match of week one.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how this all kind of phases out here. Obviously, one of these teams will be walking away 2-0 into week two. The other one will have to be looking to fight their way back up to the top of the rankings. So, very exciting matchup.
Big thing to note is that Nordavind have their main support back Advienne, so they don't have an off-roller. Credit to Svene. He has a 100% win rate, so if Nordavind do lose today, then we'll just know that Svene was the reason for that success.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty interested to see how this goes. There's a lot of names here that, we know across the board from the likes of the European Masters, from a few of them even playing in the UK scene for us personally. So there's actually quite a lot of names in this game. But if you're even new to the Nordic Championship or haven't really been following a lot of the kind of regional league stuff, but you follow the EU Masters, you might recognize a few people here, like Wazel, not Wiesel.
Wazel. Chrisberg as well has been seen a lot previously on Misfits Academy as well. Starting bounds off though, just see Rumble and Akali. These strong picks, often flexed. And Silas actually coming out as bound, which is interesting because we received a lot of changes. He's definitely more assassin-y than AP Bruiser now with those changes, but a lot of people not happy with the current condition he is. Do you see the Cassiopeia coming out, which isn't too much of a surprise into Krogson, who's very keen on those control mages. And then Nita denied that Diana. We saw yesterday Aesthetic play so heavily around mid lane, constantly ganking for Nita on this Diana. So won't see that on the cards right now. Aspan coming in soon for Nordavind. And it's going to be the Soraka, so taking that off the cards. Obviously,
this does leave the Nami open.
Yeah, it does. So first pick for Singularity could well be the Senna is something we've seen frequently. We know Chrisberg will absolutely take that if it's left open for him. There's also, in terms of AD carries, there's the Misfortune. In terms of the directions as well, I don't think they're going to prioritize Scoot's pick that early, but the Syndra is something we saw Dusty also go for as a first pick. It is a flex. You can put it in the bot lane. You can put it in mid lane. Not really going to put it. You can put a jungle as well.
It feels like a very Krogson champion, though. Yeah. We know that from Krogson. We know he likes to play these control mages. Syndra really suits his playstyle. So while it's a flex pick, I feel like in a case like this with Team Singularity with Krogson, it's more likely going to go in that mid lane, unless he wants to get himself something like an Azir or something else. But Lucian, like you said, is also open. Instant pickup for Aesthetic, though, on the Lee Sin. And now Nordavind, what do they want to pick up?
I think AD carry priority is usually going to be a big thing here. Although, if they're prepared for whatever Team Singularity go for, they could go for the support.
Yeah.
Although I know Advienne prefers to play more aggressive support, so Braum, it synergizes really well with the Senna, so may well end up defaulting that. But they pick up the Senna, no surprise for Chrisberg here, puts a heavy priority on this champion. And into a mobile carry like Syndra can be very devastating if you land the ultimate onto her. Lee Sin for Aesthetic allows them to go with that early pressure once again. And now, Team Singularity, I think they're just hovering the Yorick in reference to yesterday with coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting in their head there. It's going to be that Jarvan for the Scoot. We did see him on the Talia yesterday, and he actually really had a fantastic game with that pick, but wants to go onto something, a bit more reliable, a bit more team-focused than, just he being one of those main carries. So picks that pickup for him, and now Team Singularity, what is their next pickup? Are they going to look towards the AD? I feel like they should, or that, or a support, and probably then see what Nordavind do.
Support. It could be top laner if they want to ban things away that are counter. Actually going to go for the Talia, so...
It's still technically flexible.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that normally I wouldn't want to pick the AD carry here because you want the flexibility between roles, but this is still possible with the Talia and the Syndra. The Jarvan is technically a flex. You can put it into the top lane, so this still could be a jungle Talia.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say at this point. I expect it'll probably be the jungle Jarvan and then have one of the mages bot lane, one of the mid, which means they're likely going to end up going for an AD top laner for Nile, which will likely be blind. Thresh is coming as a pick for Nordavind, so often offering an element of safety for Chrisberg, and also it suits Advienne more than I'd say the Braum does. It's something he can play aggressive on, which I know he's typically suited to. Ban phase and next rotations. I feel like it's a harder ask for Nordavind to ban here because you know where all of their picks are going. So Singularity can just ban away the solo lanes, whereas for Nordavind, it's a little bit more fluid. Are taking away the Pantheon, just cautious about the Pantheon Talia combo, which can go bot lane, could also technically go mid jungle, although it's a little bit unlikely with the Jarvan taken, but just aware of that one, because especially into things like the Thresh, like the Senna, if you do stun one of them, very quickly can just blow them up with a combo. And it looks like had a little issue in champ select, so we're flying out.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be too long before we get that all iron out. Looks like it was a bug on Scoot's side, so just waiting to figure out whether or not anything was
the
real.
bug was I realized
they
picked two junglers.
Oh, I see.
They're like, oh, well, we'll pick Talia here for Scoot. I'm like, we already have Jarvan. They're like, oh.
Scoot was like, can I play both?
But either way, we'll just load quite quickly back into that. And at this point, I feel like there's counter pick available for the side of Nordavind. The question is going to be, where do they want to put it? They can pick a stable. They can either pick a flex. They can either pick something staple for something safe for Wazor. And he can play weak side.
Yeah.
He did have to do that against Coincidence, and obviously against the Yorick, it was a problem later on. Or they can pick to have counter pick in that area. Lucian was still available, which can be flexed between both roles and is always going to have a lot of laning power. So that is a possibility. For now, we'll just wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what's going to happen. It looks like there was a problem with doing a ban there, so just going to go back over that, and I think pretty much everything up until those final, like that last ban, is going to stick, and I think then we'll go from there, just seeing exactly what the people in charge are going to say about that.
Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me to see some bans towards flexes. Things like the Lucian could be taken off the tables, or maybe safe bans or Wazor that directs Niter in a certain direction. I feel like Niter is a bit different from the likes of Krogson and Priskanet, where he's going to play a safe mid lane mage, but it remains to be seen. I think banning away things like Ore and GP, both definitely viable options, and we are loading back into draft.
Yeah, it looks like everything's staying the same here. We're just doing the same bans as well.
So it's a little bit of a bug where it shows the pick for the previous one.
Okay, cool.
It means we have something to talk about because we have them in front of us, so you can see. So again, the big question for me is, where are Singularity going to put their different champions? Because there's a lot of flexibility still available. And what are Nordavind going to ban in response? I think the guarantee here is that Team Singularity haven't picked their support. So you could heavily affect that pool. It depends on which direction Singularity want to go, because I feel like Nautilus and Leona have a little bit of trouble engaging onto a Thresh. But then if they wanted to counteract the Thresh, they could pick, say, a Tom Kench. So if they wanted to ban that, they could, but does sort of remain to be seen.
All right, well, just same picks, the same everything we had in the last time round. Okay, Orcs. While we're waiting for this just to quickly rattle through, I want to know, as a kid, what was your favorite bath toy?
I didn't really have bath toys.
You don't have baths in Newcastles. It was just a cold bucket outside, wasn't it?
No, when we had baths, I didn't even have toys. I just played with the bubbles and stuff.
Okay. Well, that's just completely thrown that to the wind.
Yeah, what was yours?
I had a little boat. I had a little thing at the back, so you could like push it along, and it'd...
Oh, like a little...
I can't remember what they're called. Like a little rotor. But...
I mean, it's not a propeller, because...
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was a cool little chap.
Anyway, we've caught up. So that was a nice discussion. Orn ban away from Wazor, no surprise. Running in the night, a safe top lane blind. Question's going to be, what did Nordavind want to take away?
Do you like how the music stopped for our little bath talk, and then as soon as we get back to business, it kicks back in again?
Yeah. Leona said he tries as well with Syndra and the Talia. Obviously, I feel like Thresh does have a good match because you can play out the Zenith Blade, but if they at level 6, you can obviously just ult the Thresh, and then there's no chance of flying away from that. Singularity, I mean, they could go for the Gangplank here, they could go for the Mordekaiser. There's a lot of options. essentially which pool they want to limit, whether it's mid or top lane. Lucian is something that, again, is an option going for the set instead. Now Nordavind, you know, it's their choice. Do they want to blind for Wiseau? Do they want to blind for Niter or pick a flex? So it's pretty hard to read. I guess we'll just get to see.
I have to wait and see. So one of the nice things about Taliyah is Taliyah used to be kind of like a thing you exclusively played with that Pantheon. But now Taliyah is actually fairly decent with pretty much most supports bot lane. Again, like we said, it's still technically flexible. That's going to be a gangplank there for Wiseau. Wants to get his hands onto that. Now, what do they want?
Now, for Singularity, it's really just where are things going to end up going across the map. And it's pretty hard to read, I'll be honest. We know they're going to have to pick a top laner in this situation. So something that nearly can blind. Aatrox was a big one for him yesterday. So he could bring that one again, but obviously had difficulty into the Yorick. Nautilus is going to come out for Vayu. So you can play that. Synergize with one of the mages with easy follow-up.
One last pick, though. They are definitely taking their time thinking about it. What do they want to put in that top lane? They do really need to find something that kind of offers some AD to them. Otherwise, it's fairly easy to itemize against this team. And it looks like they are hovering around a few things. It's quite hard to call because they are just pinging back and forth. But the final lock-in is going to be the Aurelia.
So Aurelian
I
to
think
Gangplank.
technically a flex, but it's going to have to go top.
Aurelian to Gangplank is a matchup that can actually threaten the Gangplank. You can actually win that. Especially if you get ganks and you start to take over that matchup, you can really challenge him. Gangplank's normally a pick that you can just chill on and sort of handle the matchup. You have the wave clear, you have good trading power. But an Aurelia can find all-ins, and even if you orange the stun, it doesn't cleanse the reset mechanic on a Q. So Nilly potentially wanted to challenge Wiseau on the top lane, and Niter, despite the fact that he was given this last pick, just going to go for the Orianna, which is generally seen as pretty safe and stable, but it does mean that he does have the Shockwave, which is a massive threat potential towards these immobile mages.
Really liking these comps. Now, I think it looks like Raya is going to be playing the Taliyah. Krogson's on the Syndra. We did kind of hit on that. Krogson really likes things like the Syndra, so it suits his champion pool. As our teams are now set to go onto the Summoner's Rift. I am very interested to see how this is going to go. Obviously, we've been kind of teased with the Taliyah as a flex pick for a little while in the last few weeks. In the Nordic Championship, we haven't seen it yet, but I am very excited to see how this is going to match up because Chris Berg's on a very staple pick for him, something he very heavily prioritizes, something he had incredible success on. I think he was 7-2 and like 8 or something yesterday on it.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Berg's one of these players who, when there's a new strong AD carry, he wants it picked from, he wants to put massive priority on it, and this may well be a situation where he can do so. I think my concern here is that for Nordavind, they're lacking a lot of the early pressure compared. Yeah. I mean, particularly mid-jungle, the Syndra and the Jarvan combo is so punishing towards an Orianna. I'm expecting some reserve play from Niter, and then they can translate that pressure outwards, especially if they give a lead over to Nilly in the top side. It's going to make things really difficult. The setup's really easy in the bot lane. If you find any CC from Nautilus or Jarvan, easy follow-up with the Taliyah. So I feel like in the early game, Nordavind should be on the back foot, but in the later stages, they're really going to come online.
Alrighty, well, just have a little rundown of all the runes. Everything's pretty much standard there. Seeing the Dark Harvest on the Taliyah. Sometimes you see a Electrocute for a bit of trading power, but kind of want that extra bit of burst damage as you kind of move her later into the game. Outside of that, everybody's running what you'd expect on the champions, really.
Yeah, so going to be an interesting one, and I think that the burden really is on Singularity. They're the ones who need to apply this pressure early, particularly Krogson. He needs to have a solid game here. We did see him trying to apply a lot of pressure yesterday's game on Azir. Not really as much of a champion you can do that as compared to a Syndra, but I want to see that again. I want to see him playing very aggressively. I want to see Advienne, and I want to see no, sorry, not Advienne. I want to see Vayu and Scoot playing around mid lane, applying the pressure so that he can extend that zone of control outwards from mid.
Well, week 1 of the Nordic Championship comes down to this. 2 of the strongest teams we have here going head-to-head. Team Singularity versus Nordavind. It's all to play for. They want to remain undefeated. Pride is on the line.
30 seconds until
Big test for both these two teams. Both just going for a fairly defensive start, although Scoot could potentially push forwards, but looks like he'll just back off. Both junglers hovering on top side.
We've had a grand total of 2 invades so far.
We got into a little bit of a streak and then it ended. A little bit unfortunate.
Neither team really wants to give up too much early, so they're playing with an element of respect towards each other.
Jarvan heading to the bot side, reset to grab the sweeper. He's going to get a strong leash there. If he passes towards top side and manages to punish Wazor on a good gank timing, it could really spell doom for the gangplank.
Well, Aesthetic starting up on that blue side of the map. We have a red side, red side of the map, top side of the map for Nordavind. So junglers both starting on their reds. Scoot not getting a leash, however.
So this is actually a nice setup. I mean, they know he'll have started... Actually, they don't necessarily, because he could have started solo on the blue. He's actually potentially going for a level 2 gank here, or we could just be invaded.
It looks like the map's been split down the center. They will see Aesthetic on that blue. So they know he's there. That's going to be the hook. That's going to be the flag and drag. It flashed away, though. A lot of damage returned out there by Chrisberg. He's doing some serious return damage to Scoot.
Value a little slow on the auto attack there to get the root. So they do get the flash from Thresh, however, but they don't get anything more than that. And Aesthetic a little bit ahead in terms of tempo. He's already cleared through the blue of Scoot. And unfortunately, this map split, I don't feel like benefits Singularity all that much. Yes, they managed to get the flash at the end, but it's still pretty hard to gank this lane combo. There's a lot of safety between them. And on top of that, it means Nilly is isolated on his own side of the map. He actually set the wave up to shove into him. And when I saw that, so he was in lane first, obviously because of the leash from Gangplank. And he set the wave up so it would push into him. And I figured that was to set up for a gank coming in. But Scooge just completely allocated his presence on the other side of the map. So right now, Nilly should just be able to catch this wave on a tower, but not exactly the greatest situation for him to be on weak side.
No, not at all, but we'll see how this kind of plays out for him. Meanwhile, Croxon getting a gank from Aesthetic. Good scan of the week, though, will stun up Niter to make sure that Croxon not going to get caught up here. Croxon does need to be a little careful. He's kind of walking backwards into the middle of the lane while Leeson's still there, but now this wave crashing in. He's going to catch it here. Didn't really lose too much there, and actually he's going to pull himself ahead in CS. Quite heavily as well.
Yeah, up in levels as well. It's good. Hanging around mid lane, picking up a Scuttle Crab. Both junglers just trading off those, and now you can see Aesthetic returning to his own blue side of jungle. Aggressive plays
coming in. Right, gets ignited. A great seismic shove. Means Badavante not going to be able to go for more. Goes for an optimistic hook, but Aesthetic going to pick up these Krugs. There's a ward in that bush. As Vayu takes it, and they're going for the dive here. It's only level 2. Teleport's coming through as well. A return teleport's coming out as well. They get a lot of CC on, and actually those tower shots, not enough for the ignite, is not going to burn down. Aesthetic gets away.
Double TP coming in. Croxon joined as well. Very close to Aesthetic going down. This was a really forced gank, and it's pretty difficult to do up against the likes of Talia and Nautilus. That is a hard combo to dive. Overall, everyone just gets away with their lives, but already a pretty volatile start to that game. And actually, Niter, unable to walk through the river because Scoot was there with Croxon, now has to reset here. Will be down a significant amount of CS compared to Croxon, so not having a great game so far.
Very, very bad for him. Nilly did hold his teleport. He did not join that fight. He is quite happy, currently just farming away. Misses out on the flawless duet. Scoot, maybe looking for a gank here. Has been spotted out on a ward, but Nilly chasing him down, stacking up that Conqueror. Weisel's just taking a serious amount of damage. Scoot's going to flash land that knockup. Weisel gets the orange off, but that's going to be Nilly. He finds first blood.
A little bit later than expected, but a great gank from Scoot just set up this Aurelia, and you can see him just walking up to the gangplank and auto him did so much damage. He's like looking for someone on a Scoot here.
Yeah, he's going to do a bit of damage here. Follows up with a kick. Got a teleport coming in. Nilly just going to make sure his jungler gets out nice and safe as Aesthetic is looking for that kick, but Sonic Strike not going to find its mark. Meanwhile, Vayu goes on to Adavante. Right jumps forward, looks for a seismic shove. They're on top of the unraveled earth here. It's doing a lot of damage. One more threaded volley will spell his demise, and Rai gets himself a Dark Harvest stack and a kill.
Nice all in coming in. I'm just loving that in this game, they are going so heavy to try and force these fights. So far, Singularity with the advantage. 1,300 gold up, and now Hex Flash coming in.
Yeah, he's looking for it. Misses out on the dredge line. Misses out on the seismic shove as well. Chrisberg, a fancy dancing, is able to get away.
Yeah, that was a close one. If that hook had hit, the follow-up from Rai would have been almost instant. They were going down, but alrighty, Singularity, pretty good start to this game. Aesthetic now looking mid lane on a Krogston, but feels like Krogston senses something is potentially up. The wave is not in a good spot for him, though. If he clears out these melees and pushes forwards, he could be in trouble. Niter not quite got his ultimate available, though.
Line's coming through. Adavante now spotted out on the ward means...
Adavante. Advian.
I don't know why I keep adding words.
It's like you just make something up that starts and ends with the same letters.
That's how I roll, baby. Niter is going to be fine. I was trying to find something for Niter now. How would I extend Niter's name?
I don't know.
In the middle,
I don't
though.
have the talents you have.
It's not a good talent to have.
Well, not if you're a caster. Good wave positioning here for Nile. Just sort of frozen in front of his tower, though. Will inevitably push away. Okay, now
You've been casting for me too long, mate.
Yeah, you're
Just making words up.
Aesthetic's in the vicinity, so when this wave pushes out, he could be in a bit of a difficult position, but you can see Scoot is actually pathing up towards topside. He needs to be there relatively soon if he wants to help escort this wave in for Nili, which is why you can see him pathing straight up there. Base Aesthetic, instead of looking to potentially pressure top, he's actually going for the blue buff here. It's actually pretty big to deny a blue buff from a Syndra. She'll use that to get priority over mid lane, but
Scoot's going to see him.
he senses it.
Scoot's got 6 as well. Oh my lord, Aesthetic locked inside the Cataclysm. Will be burning him down, but now Nili hot on the heels, looking for that chase. They use the Scry as an Aesthetic. He's just making himself a long way out of there. He's going to get chased down by Krogston, but Aesthetic, he's still going here.
Wazer threw his ultimate down. I think that might have just been to slow Niter. Slow Krogston, sorry. And he does get an execute. A lot of time wasted there, but ultimately he does go down to level 5, and the blue will be secured by Scoot.
Takes flash, coming out. Looking for the dredge line, finds it on to the fresh, gets played back underneath the tower. Followed up by the CC from Chrisberg. Vio looking for it. Ooh, finds the wrong person.
Just misses. I think his hook must have been in cooldown because he would have loved to use that while he was rooted and close to the tower. They're now proxy farming against Wazor, and this is the power of having that advantage in the lane matchup.
Scoot even gets himself the Herald as well.
Singularity looking in a really good spot so far in this game, and we did say they need to make the pressure happen early. They need to find the advantages because later in the game, the Orianna, the Senna, the Gangplank are going to make things difficult. But for now, they're in a good spot. And Niter zoned out heavily. The ultimate available for Krogston. If it connects, Niter almost certainly going to go down.
He looked for it.
So I think then they had to help protect his mid laner. But Scoot now level 7, and Aesthetic's level 5 still. He's just been completely controlled. So much time was wasted by Aesthetic, and now Scoot has been able to start clear. He cleared through his own jungle, now clear some of Aesthetic's jungle.
All right, as we approach the 10-minute mark, let's take stock of the game, see where these teams are. Singularity have got themselves that gold lead. I've got the Rift Herald in the pocket of Scoot. Aesthetic realizing he's behind, but knowing that he's got that shove and the base timings in his favor, is going to go pick that Ocean Drake up for Nordavind. And they'll be able to get this, so moving one step closer towards that. Dragon Soul as potential for the next soul up is going to be Slowness. Dragon up will be a cloud, which means we'll be looking at an Infernal or a Mountain Soul for this game. Yeah, which could be very explosive.
Pretty significant combat stats in both of those with regards to shield and the extra damage. For now, though, game slowed down a fair bit, and it's just an advantage is being accrued steadily by Singularity in the jungle, in the top lane, in the mid lane. They're gaining level advantages and gold leads. They need a little bit more pace in the mid game if they're going to keep this up. So Herald's available. Still got 3.5 minutes before the plates go. And Scoot needs to find his opportunity to place this one down. He is looking towards the top side. If they dive Wazor and kill him, they could easily take this tower.
He's hanging about there. Bo has the Vanguard's Edge as well. They're looking for that dive in the top lane.
Critically, Crispig doesn't have mana for an ultimate available. But Wazor clears out the wave. He does have the cannon barrage available as well. But 240 gold in Nilly's pocket. You take that.
Yeah, just purely gold in his pocket. Scoot even able to make himself a grand escape over that wall. This is what we wanted to see. Nilly getting a lot of attention. He's got that Tiamat as well, so he's going to constantly shove Wazor in. Wazor obviously does have a good wave clear with the barrels, but he's just got a Sheen at the moment and the Cull.
You can see from the map, there's so much vision control on the top side. Krogson able to walk up and take these Raptors away because he has 2 control wards covering his path and then walk back down. It's just so easy for Nilly to push up because there's very little threat to him. On the bot side, there's more defensive vision. You can see it's almost like like a wave, like goes up and then down. You can see there's a little bit more deeper vision on the top side, and then on the bot side of the map where they're playing defensive, it's definitely vision more on their side of the map, just watching any invades coming in.
Really nice to see. Scoot being very proactive on this map. The scoreline 0-0-1 really isn't showing what he's actually offering for his team here. He's doing a lot of work, giving a lot of pressure over. Svetic gets spotted out on his blue side of the map as well, so this gives him a little bit of information to work with. Krogson, you need to press Q before you use that ability, otherwise you don't really do much.
Need hit skill shots too. He has a blue buff now, level 10, so he has his Q max for that extra damage. 1 level away from 2 points on ultimate, but he has blue buffs, so he's just able to shove in this wave constantly and apply pressure to Niter. Game definitely slowed down quite a bit. You can see Krogson, he shoves the wave in, he just rotates up to the top side, and even just being invisible just applies a huge level of pressure. I think he's looking for Aesthetic here. Aesthetic's still level 6 to level 10 of Krogson. I know Jungle XP got nerfed, but this is a bit more than that.
Aesthetic's just been spotted every time he's anywhere. He tried to base bot side, he got spotted out by a ward. Killer in his Krugs, top side, spotted out by a ward. Scoot, maybe looking for something here in this bot lane. Be pretty optimistic, be quite a dangerous gank for him to go for. So he's just going to clear out the pink, head back towards his side of the map.
Just clearing out the vision, which applies pressure to the bot lane and Nordavind. They have to back off, respecting the potential dive, even though it's not really going to come. But good vision control sought out by Singularity just to allow their lanes to keep playing aggressive. They're now 3,000 gold up. Most of this is just consistently being picked up from CS advantages.
See, the base is coming forward here for Nilly. She's just going for a quick swap. Didn't buy any items on that base. He just wanted to head over towards the bot side of the map. Picked himself up a ward, I guess.
So this is just a little bit of an interesting rotation because this isn't necessarily, oh, Dragon's down, we're swapping because we're going to prioritize Herald. I mean, the Herald is coming up, so it is something they can look towards. But to me, this suggests they just want to get this tower down as soon as possible. And you can see, if you look at the minimap, Advienne and Crispig did not expect this. So they're rushing over the other side of the map to contest this. They were happy to go bot lane and take the Dragon, but now they're more focused on defending the first tower gold.
Meanwhile, Krogson's pushing up the mid lane. That's going to be the hook. They look for the Flay, do find out to Krogson. He just looks to turn it around. The Unleashed Power forces him out. Krogson does get caught out by a stun there, but Niter not close enough. And this turret will fall. First blow to Rai. Fantastic rotation by Singularity. They're just catching Nordavind off completely.
Good read, good timing. They knew they had the priority bot lane, so if they reset and went back to base, they'd be there first. Nordavind didn't read it, and they were slow to react. Crispig has just ended up going mid and sharing XP. Now, there is the Dragon available, so Nordavind can get their second, but Dragons really aren't that impactful until you start stacking them up and getting the soul. So I feel like a Cloud, they're happy to give up, but for now, Nilly might be caught.
Yeah, has taken the kick to the face, the hook to follow, stun does come out there. Nilly's going to get shut down. Nordavind to be on to pick it up. Herald is going to be the return answer here, and a turret. Nordavind, sure you're getting the Cloud Drake. Actually, they're not even going to bother with the Cloud Drake. They're going to look to try and contest this turret. Niter flashes forward. Krogson scatters him away. And really they force a flash from Rai, and they don't get a turret, and they lose the Rift Herald topside.
And they can just throw that down mid if they want to get the mid tower with it, or they can hold it and use it for bot tower. Singularity happy to trade gold and objectives in terms of towers for these Dragons. There's only 2 in the pocket of Nordavind, so if they want to start contesting them later, Singularity definitely can. It is going to be a Mountain Soul. You can see that terrain just popped up on the map. Pretty hard though at this point. Niter picked up the blue buff, so not going to have much success shoving the wave in. But you can see an on the way ping coming in top. Reset's going to come out and someone's going to have to catch that because of the wave positioning. So this is an opportunity for Singularity off the back of their reset to apply some pressure. We know they have the Herald. Question's going to be whether they want to focus on getting down this mid tower or looking towards the bot lane. For now, Nito's actually catching that top wave. So this may be their opportunity, but unfortunately their resets are a little bit delayed.
Again, Nordavind just on the rotations, on the resets, just seem to be that step behind Singularity. Now, Triforce means Wisewall is going to be a lot more comfortable to be able to catch these waves, push them out, not just me constantly getting caught out. And oh my lord, Krogson.
He didn't even press R.
He should have. He's going to take a hook here. Chrisberg's going to look for the CC. There's a lot of damage coming out onto him. As that is just going to be the end of days. Krogson flashes away, actually. Oh, God. Chrisberg looks to run him down, and that is the shutdown for Chrisberg.
Really nicely played, to be honest, from the two, because Chrisberg knew if he got too close, there was definitely threat from going down. They played around the ranges extremely effectively. Advin and Chrisberg shown some promise, but in the bot side, Herald's been thrown down. One tower already gone, and the second chunked pretty heavily. And Chrisberg and Advian, despite getting that kill, they can't do much in the mid lane to contest.
Meanwhile, Scoot actually jumps in, does get himself a hook to the face. Rai looking for the seismic shove, not going to catch it. Scoot goes golden. Cannon Barrage comes out. They got a teleporter back. Flash is going to get used here by Scoot.
Nice
a great play, but Advin is able to get him something there. That's going to be the shockwave. It's just the Pinata, not going to find his mark.
You hate
Nordavind.
to see it. You hate to see it. The response is good, the flay is better, but the shockwave leaves something to be desired.
Sombrero, not Pinata. Very different things. Aesthetic will get a red buff. That is going to be their return for
That's
that.
a reward.
Now, let's take a stock of the items here at the moment. Triforce now finished up on to Nilly, along with that Tiamat as well, so he's going to have a lot of lane shoving capabilities. He's an item and a half, well, a half an item, sorry, ahead of Wisel, who's just got his Triforce. Finished that Colo on the Gangplank, so probably going to see him base and look to pick up his next item. Hextech GLP onto the right. Which means he's going to be able to land his abilities with a little bit more ease because he can get that slow into the seismic shove, and
It's good setup
much
for
he
his team
did.
as well. Obviously, a lot of skill shot CC coming out. Singularity, they reset earlier than Nordavind. Nordavind reset, and then as a result, not being able to defend mid, so they finally get their mid tower. All the outer towers down. Next up is working on the inners, a little bit more.
big collapse towards the bot side of the map.
Yeah, this
All
is a really
five
good
members
rotate.
getting pulled down. Remember, it got chunked earlier by the Rift Herald. Nilly can just clear this wave nice and easy with the Tiamat. And Nordavind, once again, just a little bit too slow to the punch. You can see the pings coming out from Nita. He's trying to get that top side tier 1, but he's still got to catch this wave and push it out. Now, he is a Orianna with the Lunzeka, so he'll be able to catch it fairly quickly. This turret will probably fall to him, but the bases are coming forward. Singularity looking to spend the gold they've been cashing in on.
It was nice. They got the tier 2, it was a pretty good read, good rotation. They already had the vision control. You can see 3 control wards in the blue side jungle of Nordavind. And Nordavind were just slow on the uptake. They went to cover mid when they were just taking the low HP tower, and then they didn't keep up with the rotation. So altogether, solid play for Singularity. But their lead hasn't grown. It's actually shrunk since earlier. And I think that's a big concerning thing for me. We did say in the late stages, Nordavind have a lot of carries which are really going to come online. The Gangplank, the Orianna, the Senna. And yes, Singularity have been making good plays, but they haven't really pushed on their momentum. Dragon going to be up soon, but right now, Wazel's in trouble.
Yeah, he's going to get caught out. Tries to throw that orange down in time, but the Cannon Barrage will not do you much. Vayu picks himself a kill up. Meanwhile, Aesthetic is trying to get himself something. Rai is going to get shut down by the Dawning Shadow. Chris Berg, second kill on the board. Now they're looking for a turret here. Wave clear, not available. It's rotating in behind. Nilly's coming down as well.
This could be really bad.
This quick.
It's going to be really bad with Nilly going here because Knight just walked away. He walked past Nilly without seeing him.
They spotted Nilly out. Nilly has to try and get himself the stun off. Throws out the ultimate. Does find himself a 3-man stun. The Cataclysm comes down. Chris Berg is pinned in place. Krogson gets a scan of the weak onto Aesthetic. Now they're chasing onto the support. That's a double kill. Picked it up for the mid lane. Krogson is popping off on this. And now they're going to turn their attention towards the Baron.
Right, has Weaver's Wall as well. He can get here pretty quickly. No Cannon Barrage from Wazel, but he does have TP. They're looking like they want to contest this one, but Aesthetic's taking the long route round. It's on 4k HP.
Still fairly slow here at the moment. Rai is moving his way up. Can build the wall if he needs to. Actually, he has already done so. Rai finds himself a slow onto Weiser. Weiser's taking some serious damage from that threaded volley. Fight's breaking out on all fronts. Rai's going to flash away. Aesthetic, he has to find this steal. This is his moment to do or die. He jumps in. He's unable to steal it, but a three-man shockwave lands down. Lily gets himself a kill, though. It's a 1-for-1 trade.
So close, but the damage just wasn't there from the Lee Sin to get it low enough for the smite to kill. Scoot secures it. Singularity have 4 Barons now. They're in a comfortable position, but consolation prize, Nordavind can head over to that Mountain Dragon and pick up their third if they are fast.
Yeah, it's going to put them 1 away here. Right, does not have himself the Weaver's Wall, so he can't surf his way in, but still relatively slow here. Getting chunked out. Now they do have the help of Nita. Rai's going to throw out the slow. Nilly, not really going to be able to do too much here. He tries to steal it, unable to find it. As now the rest of the team chasing in. Vio looking for CrisPer. Can't quite connect.
Advienne doing work on this Thresh. They lost the Baron, they're 4k gold down, and now it's Singularity's turn to push with some big item spikes coming in. The Void Staff for Krogson, the Titanic Hydra for Nille, but Nordavind secured that third dragon. If they can hold out, stop their base from being cracked until the next dragon's available, there is an opportunity for them to get that soul. And we did say their scaling is promising.
Is indeed. Actually looks like Krogson overextending here. He's going to have to flash away. Dawning Shadows comes out. Scoot trying to back him up. Aesthetic wants to find himself an opening, but
doesn't amount to a kill, but it forces Krogson away. He's now going to have to base to heal up, and it buys Nordavind time. Every second that goes by is less and less time that Singularity have to use that Baron. They're able to clear up the wave mid. Concern now, though, is that wave in the top lane with Nilly. And actually looks like Krogson stayed at half HP to keep the push going.
Yeah, they want to keep this 1-3-1 in full power here. Does mean Krogson is exposed. He is weak. Nita gets a little bit of a speed up from the center here, but Scoot hanging around in the wings means it's very hard. Krogson finds himself a stun. Meanwhile, mid lane continuing to be sieged up by Vayu, by Rai. Just the rotation here by Scoot, making sure that he's always in somebody's back pocket in case something goes wrong. As Nilly continues to push up here. Aesthetic's being caught out for the moment, but a Grand Lantern means Aesthetic's going to get caught, make his way out.
Nordavind doing a decent job holding on. They've been able to get 1 tower so far. It's not that big of a prize considering they had the Baron. Normally on the first Baron, my expectations is like an average, so this is decent, is you finish off all the outer towers outside of the base, the tier 1 and tier 2. They're yet to get this final T2, but the pressure is mounting with Vayu moving over.
Cannon's still hitting away at it as well.
Yeah, so likely before the end of the Baron, they should be able to get this tower, but if they haven't broken the base, they're in a good position, but they're looking to do it here.
Gets caught out by the shockwave. He finds himself in an assassination onto Nita. 3 members looking for him. He's going to go and get himself killed in the end, but it's a 1-for-1. Great kill there as now Scoot is looking for something onto Wazor. Flash comes out. Fantastic by Wazor. This will result in that turret going down. It did a massive chunk of damage to the bot lane as well. Baron times out. Singularity, 6 turrets to 1. 43,000 gold to 37. Very much in their favor. Nordavind, though, they can still look to pick up this this Mountain Soul. Maybe give them something to work with.
Yeah, 6,000 gold's a difference. Singularity in good position, and they got a good amount from that Baron. They got a lot of standing gold. They cracked all the towers outside of the base and even got that bot one a little bit low. But Nordavind, the game is not over yet. Next Baron's where it might get difficult. Question's going to be, do they want to contest this next dragon? If they get the Mountain Soul, great. But they die for it, it could be incredibly bad.
Only 25 minutes into the game as well. It feels like we're a lot further in. We've had games that have been, you know, this much has happened in a lot longer time. Actually, both of these teams playing, you know, fairly high tempo. Mainly Singularity is they're the ones in control and they're dictating the pace of the game. And Nordavind are doing something, though. It's not like they're just going down without a fight. They are still finding these dragons. They're finding these objectives.
They're contesting well in terms of kills.
Yeah.
And they are making things difficult for Singularity. It's what we expected. We knew this game would be a close one. Singularity have the early power and they're using it effectively. But as this goes later, You have to be concerned about what Nordavind can do. Setup coming in for this dragon, but it's not spawning for a while yet. Krogston just cleared up the wave in the top side. It is now pushing towards Nordavind. With the next wave coming in, so there is going to be a wave that has to be dealt with eventually in the top side of the map. Syndra's already moved down in mid. They're contesting the priority heavily. Less than a minute till this fourth dragon for Nordavind, first for Singularity.
Singularity really want to get this. They don't want to give up that soul. It just gives another tool to the team. But like you said, have a lot of late game kind of carrying potential with the Gangplank. Scoot is going to find himself getting caught out a little bit. Takes a bit of poke, but it's pretty okay. Veo, see maybe if he can find a hook, but his options are really Chrisberg or Niter here.
Nordavind is trying hard to contest this mid priority so they can then use the power of someone catching the wave to rotate in the dragon area. But the problem is, Rai has so much wave clear, and they can only push the wave as deep as the tier 1 tower. It's really difficult to do. Right now, they're trying to contest the vision. They really want this dragon.
Yeah, they're going to already start it up here for the side of Singularity. Nordavind closing in. It's already too low. This is just going to be picked up here. Aesthetic tries to jump in, a hook lands onto one, a scatter the weak goes a little bit wide. Depth charge is going to be thrown out. Chrisberg jumped onto by Scoot, pinned inside the Cataclysm, but the Dawning Shadows will be able to find himself a return. Wyzor has got himself a shutdown though.
They're winning this.
To Nilly, the fight is a hook. What a hook! What a turnaround! Nordavind with 3!
And Baron is up for them to take. They don't get the dragon, but some great team fighting. Nordavind managed to kite back. They managed to protect their carries. And Niter with a beautiful flank position meant that Krogston could not step up because he would have been threatened by the shockwave. Overall, it looked like it could have been messy for them, but the scaling has started to kick in, and the team fighting was just stellar.
The one thing they can work on is the fact that Krogston didn't lose too much there. So if they want to contest, if they just want to force them off the Baron, he still has flash, he still has the unleashed power. Vayu dodges out on both the hook and the kick. Baron just above half HP currently. A scatter the weak by Krogston, followed up by the unleashed power, but now he's getting jumped onto by Aesthetic. Remember, he has that flash, but a boot to the face is going to secure the kill. Baron is stopped, it's thwarted, but they have to give up 2 lives for it.
Yeah, they don't want to risk it with Jarvan around and 2 more spawning, but they get so many kills for that. The gold lead was 6,000 a second ago, less than 2,000 now. Nordavind don't get the Mountain Soul, but they get so much more.
Massive for Nordavind to pull this game back. Look at that gold lead. You noted that it was shrinking earlier. It shrunk even more now. 2,000 up to Singularity. They had a 6K gold lead not 4 minutes ago.
Now at this point, you got to take stock of the summoners. Everyone's flash is down. Wyzor the only one, I think, who didn't burn it in that fight. You can see they're just all on the same timing as well. It was a chaotic one, but just better teamfight performance. Really good positioning from Nordavind, and Singularity with the engage. Scooter was just way too deep with no follow-up.
Scooter almost getting caught out there as well, but he's able to make his way out for the moment. Still a big wave crashing in on that bot side. Wyzor's going to be able to catch it. It does have Cannon Barrage, no TP available as the fight looks to break out. Weaver's Wall's going to force him away. A massive scatter of the week inside the Cataclysm. Dawning Shadows has come out already. That's going to be one going golden. It's just 2 kills picked up for Nordavind, followed up by the hook. A fantastic one again. Shockwave lands, but it's a shutdown with a scatter of the week is going to come out. Nearly full HP. Still got that Vanguard's Edge as well. Has got the backup of Krogston with him. But for the moment, Nordavind find himself yet another solid team fight here. Scatter the week does land. Adam taking a bit of poke here. Has got that mark on him from Nilly, but not going to follow for more.
Yeah, they didn't want to go for the Baron there because their jungler went down. Aesthetic just dying at the end. Really unfortunate. If they killed Krogston there, then yes, they'd go for the Baron. But right now, just playing it a little bit safe. But more and more kills going in Nordavind's pocket. The lead is less than 1,000 now. They really started to come online, and the scaling is starting to kick in. The range from Chrisberg ballooning up to massive amounts with those stacks.
So we look at the Sterix, we look at the Titanic, the Triforce. Nilly is very strong, a lot of health, solid bruiser at this point. Level 16 as well. Krogston closing in on his level 16. That's when the Unleashed Power is going to really start to spike for him.
See the gold there, so Chrisberg well and truly ahead of Reinhardt right now. Nilly's still up, Krogston still up. Otherwise, things mostly close the gap. Crispy got so much range now thanks to those passive stacks. I think he's recalling now for the rapid fire cannon. And at that point, one of the concerns for Singularity is their composition is...
He wants those stacks more than anything.
Their composition is so short ranged. You really have to be up close to deal damage to someone. And now that Crispy is going to have this rapid fire cannon, he can just do so much from a long distance. You see every fight, his ults make a massive impact. Even in that one, when Scoot trapped 2 members into his Cataclysm, the ult shield from Crispberg just means they're not really threatened massively at all.
Well, he heads to base, picks up that rapid fire cannon, like you said. Still hasn't upgraded his boots. He's quite comfortable with...
Not really needed on a center. The boot options aren't that great. Has extra movement speed from the boot rune, and he's happy with that.
Crogson's going to do his best to try and hold this tower, but range from that rapid fire cannon, damage what Crispberg has means they're able to take that. And look at the rotation now towards the dragon.
Dragon spawning soon. They're getting ready for it. And now Nordavind are the ones with positioning. They're the ones in control. They're the ones who start to clear out the vision. And it was looking on the flank. Crogson could actually potentially be in trouble here.
Wave is pushing in the bot side. Looks for Crogson with the barrels. Not going to quite find it there. Crogson now level 16. He's got that blue buff so he can play with mana for the moment. Aesthetic's hanging about. That's Dragon up. This could be Soul. Scoot throws down the flag and has caught them out. He knows where they are.
Rabadon's been picked up for Ree here, so if Rye's going to have some success, this could be it. Scoot looking to challenge. All of Nordic could get a flank coming in.
Flank is going to look for something, but actually they jump onto Rye for the moment. That's going to be the depth charge already used. The Vanguard's Edge has gone a little bit wide there. Scoot pins him in place though. Dawning Shadow heal is big. That's going to just be a 1 for 2 so far to start this fight out. Now the health bar's a little bit low, but they're looking to run down Rye. Crispberg unable to find it, and now he might start in a very dangerous place. He is CC'd. He is blown apart, and that is going to be a shutdown for Rye. But now we see Wiser and Aesthetic. They just have to make their way out. They cannot contest this. Aesthetic, maybe he can make some kind of miracle still happen, but I don't think he wants to risk it.
No, I don't think he can walk up in that situation, especially with this TC from Crogson. And credit to Crogson, he opened that fight with a solo kill onto Niter. The reason that one went so well was Niter was just dead at the start. Crispberg tried to find good position and it was just unable to free himself up. And by that point, the fight was already lost.
The pings are going down towards Baron Nashor now.
You still have so much time on Crispberg. You can just start this up.
Crispberg's not for 15 seconds. Crogson, make sure the wave pushes up and he's heading over there with the rest of his team. They've got that crab as well. I want to call it scrab though instead of scuttle crab. They're going to get this. Full vision control going to be in their favor. Are you going to pop that blast cone as well to make sure he...
Crispberg's just spawning. They're moving over. They do have a Lee Sin. Very easy to get in the pit. Very easy to contest. It looks like Singularity respect them back.
Oh, Crogson, no! Can't quite get himself the assassination off. The healing from Crispberg as well. I mean, Aesthetic doesn't really take too much poke there. Singularity feel the better of it. Aren't able to find that assassination often. They are lacking in AD carry, so their Baron is a little bit slower.
A lot of sustained damage, though, coming out from a Syndra and a Talia. So it isn't too bad, but Nordavind back on the map with their numbers. Looking to move over and contest a vision in this area. This game is so close. Very little gold between these two teams. And we said coming into it, these two, some of our top rosters in the league. We expected a close matchup.
It's delivering indeed here. Xindiali's building towards that GA. It's going to make him an even stronger threat. He's pushing up into this bot side, constantly always making sure someone is on the opposite side of the map from the Baron Nashor. Wiser obviously is going to be the one to grab it, and he does have himself his teleport available. He's got the Essence Reaver, the buildings of that Infinity Edge as well. When he gets that 50% crit, a lot of additional damage to work with there.
As this game goes further, though, Nordavind have so much scaling in their kits. Crispberg just picked up more and more stacks in the center, getting more and more AD crit and range. Crogson might be looking for Niter here. He solo killed him before.
Yeah, he's looking again. He's going to fire the Unleashed Power, gets the Scatter the Weak off. That's going to be the ulti coming down, but it's just too little. It's just too late. Crogson with the solo kill.
Great plays coming out from Crogson. We saw him wanting to be aggressive on the Azir yesterday, and now on the Syndra, he is delivering in force. He is saying tonight, I am the better Danish mid, and he's proving it.
I nearly wants to try and find something onto Wazor, but he's not going to get it. Baron's still being contested. Scoot looks for a pick onto Fresh, but not going to find that. Baron's now been started up. Scoot waiting for that flag and drag to get back over the wall. Aesthetic Searching with a kick. He is here. The steal is available. He's got to level up as well on Scooter. His smite's going to do that a little bit more. And that could be crucial. But look on the map, already in the mid lane. Nilly's making his way over. Krogson's doing his best to zone people away. Nilly on that flank. Hook's going to land onto Krogson. Goes a little bit wide. That's the Vanguard's edge. This could just be the fight to follow up. Aesthetic has to jump over the wall. He needs to stay alive. Chrisberg will just be sacrificed as Nilly shuts him down. Now Krogson with the unleashed power finds himself a double kill. Baron Nashor's going to be picked up here by Singularity. And Nordavind can do nothing.
Just a beautiful flank coming out from Nilly and Krogson. You could see Nordavind trying to position, looking like they wanted to challenge Syndra, but as soon as the Aurelia came in, there was nowhere for Nordavind to be safe. And Singularity, they lost the momentum. We said the scaling might have counteracted them, but they're finding beautiful team fights orchestrated about getting backline access. If Chrisberg can't free hit, he's so limited. He needs space, and it's not being given to him.
Like gold lead has now grown to 5,000. Singularity,
Less significant
yes.
than the 6,000 before, just because of how much more gold is on the table and the relative amounts. Control being completely dominated of the bot side. That bot lane tower still a little bit low. The Singularity yet to break the base. In their first Baron all that time ago, they did manage to play all the outer towers. Now they are looking to crack the base of this one. And they're going once again for a 1-3-1. They have TP available on Krogson and Nilly, and also Niter he does not want to be in a solo lane against Krogson. Every time he walks near him, it feels like he's getting solo killed. And Krogson has so much damage.
Got that Spellbinder as well, along with the Death Cap. He just has so much burst capabilities on this Syndra. He's also so much more safe for that extra movement speed available to him. Drake's going to be spawning up in about a minute's time now. Wiser and Chrisberg going to have to catch this wave. It's being pushed in by Nilly, but this does expose the mid lane. Aesthetic and Fresh just don't have the actual pick potential here. The
great
flash
play.
has to come out.
Advian is doing so well on this Thresh, but
That's
here comes in.
the insect onto Rai. Rai's able to move his way out. Wiser looks for the barrel chain, doesn't quite get it. That's going to be the slow coming down as well. Some barrels coming out. The side lanes are just being cracked open. Nilly gonna get himself an inhibitor. No one can contest him. He's got a GA. He's just so much damage. Meanwhile, in the top side, it's picked up by Krogson.
I said they wanted to break the base, but they're breaking the whole thing down. Last turret fallen to protect the inhibitors. Mid inhibitors being kept alive for now. With value down, they don't want to contest this, but they're heading straight towards the dragon. Nordavind won 3 for the longest time. And now Singularity going to match them with a third mountain. Extra armor and MR. Not necessarily the best stats for some of the squishier targets, but definitely a big factor for tanks like Scood and also Nilly, the bruiser. So Singularity now 1 dragon away from that soul. And with 2 inhibitors down and that mid one low, they're in a great position. Value respawning in a couple of seconds. They can just re-establish control. They can once again posture for the 1-3-1, and they can let the super minion waves do it for them. Either way, Singularity looking so good right now.
Well, there's all 70% crit. Curious to see what his last item's going to be. It could probably just be the Phantom Dancer. Oh no, he's got Sterix. Could be a Storm Razor. Seen a few Gangplanks pick that up for the extra AD. You get the slow on your Q as well now.
Shiv possibly for the wave clear.
Static Shiv's also an option. There's quite a lot of options to him. Either way, I don't even know if we're going to get to see what he finishes at this rate. But it's going to come out. Not going to find his mark this time, but that's the Cannon Barrage into the Flay Rai. Goes Golden. Does have that flash. Is just going to get picked up nice and simple. Great pick there for the team as Krogson gets jumped onto into a Kim. Massive shutdown. Meanwhile, Nilly now on that flank, but the minions are pushing into the base. Nilly's going to have to try and do something here as Niter is going to pick himself up one. Nilly has himself the GA, flashes away, gets himself a stun off, and now he's just going to get run down, tries to turn it around before his GA is going to get popped.
Aesthetic and Advian are just playing so well finding these picks. I was close there for Nilly, but they managed to get almost a complete ace. Only value is up. Now, for the side of Singularity, things are looking so dire and they've cleared them all out. The death timer's not going to be long enough for this point to end. But Nordavind putting themselves back in control. What a back and forth throughout this. Really looked like Singularity had lost all steam, and then they firmly regained it. But Nordavind challenging them in these team fights, and it's Aesthetic finding those clutch moments killing Krogsson essentially alone, and Advian consistent on this Thresh with the hooks, with the flays.
Advian's been playing out of his mind. 2, 4, and 15 currently. And Weasel making sure this bot lane push is not going to be too much of a problem. You can see that Chrisberg's in the top side as well. He's going to catch that, and I think it's just going to be a matter of playing for the cloud, for the Mountain Soul now.
I mean, that's the thing, is there's 2 objectives, and finally, they're in equal standing. Nordavind, the priority, Nordavind have had more value on the Dragon because it was 1 away from Soul, but now Singularity are also in that position, so we could see a potential trade come out, or one of the teams could refuse to give up either to the other side. Gold lead is now 1,000, less than 1,000. It's gotten smaller and smaller as it's gone between either side, and now it's so close, and this next fight could definitely decide it.
And Krogsson, you know, just 1 item away from finishing on this Syndra, looking for his Zhonya's Hourglass to finish up his build. As everywhere else we look, people are approaching their final marks. 141 stacks on Chrisberg.
And that's the thing, more stacks, more range, more damage, more crit. And when you cap out on crit, it turns into lifesteal. So Senna's just going to keep getting stronger. Even if she caps on items, she'll still become more and more of a threat. Now has picked up the Infinity Edge. So I believe
That should be 100% crit.
that is over 100% crit, and it will transition into lifesteal. So yeah, 100% crit, and now at 19% lifesteal.
Getting stronger and stronger. Almost level 18 as well, so almost hitting that max level. Rai is still 1 item away from finishing his build, so Chrisberg is ahead in that
Second
sense.
Infinity Edge is the answer.
Nilly.
For Weisel. Even more crit, even more damage.
Oh no,
That pick.
Nilly's getting everything thrown onto him. Sterix is going to get proc. Does have himself the QSS, had to use it already. Nilly dodges away on the Dawning Shadow. And Advian find himself a pick. Aesthetic's going to get hooked. That's going to be a flash away by Vayu. But meanwhile, Krogson's just pushing the base. All they have to do is stop the bases here. Nobody is going. That's going to be the Weaver's Wall thrown down for the moment. Try and get Aesthetic out for the moment as well. As that is a solo kill. Krogson may just put the game in his hands. Teleport's coming in. Singularity have turned the game back in their favor. It was a slugfest.
Where's the inhibitor?
And the inhibitor has respawned. Krogson can't end the game. The shockwave's going to go wide. Krogson flashed. The rest of the team are trying to close in onto the inhibitor. The shutdown comes down. Nordavind is still in it, baby.
It was so close. I thought it was over. I thought it was done. The damage could have from Krogson, but the respawn time was on the inhibitor.
Oh,
Just came in clutch. You can see Singularity heading straight towards the Dragon. Nordavind trying to contest them, though. They might look for a pick here onto Chrisberg and Advian.
yeah, they're looking for the seismic shove. Don't quite find it. Chrisberg gets caught out by the ultimate from Nautilus, but Advian, he's going to get taken down. Right takes him out. That's going to be the ulti by Scoot. Scoot flashes away. So does Chrisberg. Now Aesthetic got that GA, trying to close that gap, trying to find that opening for his team. Misses out on the Sonic Strike. Teleports are going to be not available to Krogson or Lily. They're up soon. Dragon's been pulled. Vayu taking some serious damage from Chrisberg here, and this might just be Soul for Nordavind. Can the flag and drag? Can the save come through? Teleports are coming in. He's jumping in. He's unable to get it. Aesthetic finds himself Dragon Soul for his team, and it's on to Baron.
Jungler down, they're going to head straight over to Baron. It was so close though, but I think they're cautious about a backdoor coming through. No TP available for those solo laners, but they are so afraid of it. The Nexus was so low HP. 1 auto away is what Krogson said in all chat after that. 1 auto.
So unlucky.
The timing came in on the side of Nordavind, but will it be enough? They now have the Mountain Drake, the Mountain Soul, sorry. They're moving on to this Baron, but you still gotta be so scared of Krogson. This man has been playing absolutely out of his mind.
They're just running up mid. You can go for Baron all you like. So the guy's just surfing in. He's going to look for the end of the base.
TP.
The teleport's already being used. Right, on to that for the moment. As FedEx had to use his GA. It's been burnt already. Niter now looking for Vi.
Damage.
Trying to get that damage off in time, but he's unable to do so. Meanwhile, we look at Rai. He didn't get the inhibitor. And now Chrisberg with that Ranger just running him down, but it's the end of Aesthetic as well. This game is insane.
This game's just going so back and forth. A pick on either side, but Jungler down for Nordavind means they're not really going to be able to go for that Baron. But Singularity without their mage in the bot lane. A little bit of a slowdown on pace as teams wait for a reset. Nordavind trying to get some control over this Baron vision.
key thing actually to note here is, first of all, Weisel's gone double Infinity Edge.
I said that before.
Oh, sorry.
You know, because you were asking about what the crit cloak was built into. There you go.
Double IE.
Yeah,
I kind of would have liked the Storm Razor so you get the slow on
less
the...
AD though. They get nerfed
AD.
as well.
Yes, it did.
So lots less AD, clearly less at the moment, so not really worth it. Has sold his boots to switch to Myth Treads. So I think less concerned about the 1v1 against Nili and more about the CC, although...
Anyway, back to the main point. Nili has his GA back after that fight earlier at the Dragon Pit. Aesthetic does not have his GA. That was just burnt. So if we look at the tools available, technically Singularity have that kind of extra health bar available to them in these fights.
Big thing, no one has flash apart from Advien, and we've seen how crazy this guy has been on Thresh. If he can find a massive moment on the back of his flash, it could be huge. All these immobile carries, pretty vulnerable at the moment, and Crispig hasn't gone Edge of Night. One of the more malmortius for that magic resistance and that extra shield means he doesn't have that spell shield that is available to Nita on the Orianna. Right now they're pushing up mid and fours, feeling confident as a 5-man. The slow comes down to Croxon.
Yeah, they're trying to find that insect, but they're not going to get it. Sonic Strike lands into Scood. Chris Berg gets into his pool and heads away. You can see the push coming out from Nili. Nili does not have teleport, remember.
But he does have a lot of damage.
With him. Scood's going to take the Sonic Strike to the face here.
He's pushing up. Someone needs to answer. Someone needs to deal with him.
Yeah, teleport. Sorry, base is coming out from Weisel. Lily's actually just going to head away. He's looking for his own base. Closing in on that Merc Scimitar.
Applying the pressure. They do not know how a 5v5 would go. It's going to be volatile. I think Nordavind's scaling favors them, but we've seen that scaling doesn't really matter. It's more about the execution. But for now, by putting Nili in the side lane, they keep applying that pressure. Weisel has to back off. The whole team has to respond. Critical thing is that TPs are coming up sooner for Croxon and Nili than it is for Weisel. If they start applying pressure in the side lane and Weisel has to recall the answer, they can then TP in. They could go for the Baron. If they secure that, they could get the game. It's on a knife's edge right now.
There's a pink ward inside the base as well, so there's a point to teleport to, obviously, like you were just saying. Don't have it available yet, right? Take a little bit of poke there, set the dredge line away to safety.
It's so scary because the range, you just walk within any range of Crispberg and you're vulnerable. He's now picked up the static shiv instead of roots, mitigate some of the movement speed lost from selling the boots, but although he was already 100% crit because of his passive, it just means that extra crit transitions into lifesteal, but he gets more attack speed, quicken up those animations on his Q and autos. Right now, Weisel happy to hold up this wave against Nili.
But remember that Elder Drake as well is going to be a very, very key point as well. At that point, Elder Drake's almost more valuable than Baron.
Elder Drake is more valuable than Baron. I think just absolutely, it's just so strong. It just auto-wins team fights. And the thing is with the Baron is, if you try and force structures with the Baron, it's very easy to find an engage from both of these compositions with the Elder, and the Elder will just win. So much stronger in team fights. It essentially just shaves a fifth of your HP off, because if you get that low, you just die. Right now, though, Singularity getting control of on this Baron area. Nordavind a little bit away. Nitro recalling right now, but I don't think when they want to start this, they don't have a great amount of vision in Nordavind's red side jungle. They're just going to keep pushing the bot lane. Actually, right, he's waiting in the area. Here's the Weaver's Wall, so if they find a pick here, he can get back over to the Baron, or they can just go.
Oh,
they've seen him. They think they're going for the back door. Weisel's trying to hold them up, but they're looking towards Baron right now. Baron's being started by Singularity.
Singularity are trying to pull them down to this side of the map. When is that trigger going to get pulled on the bot side? When are they going to look to try and close it? The Weaver's Wall's been placed, and he actually hopped off it a little bit too early there. I think the Cannon Barrage cancelled it out for him. Nili does have his teleport, so he can join up with the rest of his team. Singularity, you can see they're feeling a little bit less confident to go for this right now, but members are being pulled away. Now they're going to try and see if they can find that steal. That's going to be the jump in, but it's the steal by Aesthetic! He's massive Cataclysm's in! They get themselves the Dragon's Rage off, and Scooter's going to get caught. That's going to be the hook. That's going to be the dredge line, but they're looking at the end right now. They're onto the base. Who is going to win this game? Rai is so low. They got it! GA and Singularity! The Baron was stolen, but they stole the game!
What a call coming out from Singularity to split the map. They sent members on a Baron to attract the attention, and then they sent Rai and Nili towards that base, and the damage is just too high in the late stages, cut through it, but what a game.
What an incredible game.
What an end to week one.
I mean, are we doing double round robin? I hope we see him again.
So much praise to go to so many members. Advien was a monster on the Thresh. Crispberg was doing so much work on the on the center, but Krogson, that man was on fire, and it was clear that seen a lot of tier lists going out, a lot of people rating different mids at different levels. Krogson was here to say, you know, I'm the best Danish mid and the best mid in the league because he had such a stellar performance and honestly put Nitra in the dirt for a lot of that game.
I am lost for words. That was such a fun game to watch. And what a corker to end week 1 of the Nordic Championship on.
Yeah, I said it'd be good. I cannot wait to see these teams go head-to-head more. And honestly, with the way they're playing, I expect we'll see a series from these two at the end of the split in playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great.
Now, that is actually going to do it here for the Nordic Championship, but we still have more games coming up next week. So let's have a little look at the schedule for next week's games. Orcs, is there anything there that's kind of jumping out to you that you're excited for?
I think Bifrost vs Vipers Inc. could be a really good one. I think Bifrost, they showed some good components here today, even though it wasn't necessarily... it was a good performance. I think there were definitely things they can work on, but I think it was solid. And Vipers have been looking good. So I think that's, again, it's the game 4 is a pretty solid one. I'm interested in seeing that.
My brain is fried.
There was so much going on in that game. And then I was like, right, we're done. We're ready. Croxton's going to end the game. And then the inhibitors just respawned.
I feel so sorry for our observer there. He was going up and down because there's just everything was happening all at once. It just all over the map.
That was a wild one.
That was such an incredible game. What a way to end week 1 of the Nordic Championships. Now, we'll be doing more here from the Monster Energy DreamHack Studios tomorrow for the UKLC. So if you want to tune in for that, you can. But if you're just going to tune in for Nordic Championships, we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. So until then, good night.